Okay, welcome to Working Group Apply number 1, Gazi 1 and 5. We are March 19. Let's get started. Okay. I had not seen that before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yay! You know what?
That looks cool.
As pretty as this looks,
You can remove that.
I'm going to remove it entirely.
Woo.
Boom. Cool. Exciting. Congratulations, everyone. Let's go to beta, which is going to be in, when is good for it? In like 2.5 months or like just 2 months?
Yeah, is this a shorter?
Tell me it's not.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can look.
I'd like to, hey Kevin, do you know if you're gonna have time to work on it, or are you gonna be focusing on something else? Are you planning on staying?
Oh, I'm planning on staying.
Okay, good.
So I'm there.
I'd like to separate these into bigger chunk of work, so that maybe each of us can be working on like one chunk more independently.
Mm-hmm.
So I see mostly at least two themes right now. There's the CRD part. How do we handle CRs in general? I think this is strongly related to OpenAPI, because as soon as we have the OpenAPI, we have CRDs pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
As soon as we can convert the OpenAPI into the schema, then we can plug CRDs to use the schema. There's like some wiring and plumbing to do, but
yeah, just because it's a different version of OpenAPI.
Yeah, that's not great, but that we can do with it. That's one part. The other part is the union and the one-off. I've started working on that. And then we need probably a path to beta strategy. So, and by that I mean we need to change some stuff in kubectl so that it doesn't look experimental anymore. That's easy. We need to change the flag so it's defaulted by.
Oh, do we still want to default it on kube control?
So I think, Kevin, I think the strategy is going to be the following. We'll first release to beta. It's going to be default on the server, but we're not going to default on the client.
So there is still the server-side flag to run server-side?
No, the flag's going to be there on the server, but it's going to be enabled by default. So we're going to track the manage fields for all the objects in the server.
Yeah.
But by default, when you apply with kubectl, it's going to be client-side apply.
Yeah, so I mean, we remain with the -- server-side - apply server flag.
Right, and it's going to default to false.
Okay, yeah.
And so we need to think about that, and we need to maybe know how we're going to move that flag to true on the client for the next release. So 1.15 we would do that, and 1.16 we would enable the flag on the client.
I think there is so kube control is Cobra, and I think there is a way to define something as deprecated, so we can mark client-side apply to like watch out, it's being non-default next release or something.
But the command is going to be the same. So the flag's not gonna get deprecated because the flag is server side.
Okay, so would the flag then be default true, or will we change to be like -- client-side apply or -- legacy apply or whatever?
I don't think that's necessary. I would set the server-side flag to be true by default eventually in 1.16.
So it would be server-side. If you wanted to use.
If you want to use client-side, you do server-side false. and eventually we deprecate the field. And as we remove the field, server side equal false, then we can remove all the code in the client that used to do client side apply.
Okay.
And so we remove the flag, we remove the code, and nobody can do server side, client side apply anymore. Okay, so yeah, but think about that. And we have a bunch of like compatibility issues that we have to handle, I think. Oh, there is the field manager declared. I think that's kind of interesting. Kevin, did you want to work on that? I think we discussed about you working on it.
Yeah, we talked about it. I wanted at least to look at it. I haven't. I think I asked the question about it, as I haven't seen anything about fields in a manifest that get not persisted. So I haven't even seen anything like it before. If it's even legal in the API.
Well, so this would be a field next to the manage field in the metadata, I think.
It's a little bit weird, right?
Why?
Because it's not being set in the object, it's just by the.
So should it be an annotation, is what you're saying?
No, I mean, anything in that file that you're sending, it's a little weird, right? I don't know. Although you include the API version and kind, and those aren't something you're setting, they're helping it look up.
No, but I see what you're saying. Like if we send the object as it is and we keep the field, then people are going to have conflicts on these.
Yeah. We could strip it.
And I think we should, because it's very, very weird if you look at the object and you see apply, or like, what is the name? Field manager, and it has like a random value, right? Probably the name of the last person who applied. And you're like, what does it mean? It means nothing.
Yeah, but if two people, well, it wouldn't make sense to put it in config that someone's going to.
Yeah, how I understood your suggestion was to just read it when applying, but don't store it, and that sounded. I don't know if it's okay to do.
Sound okay to you?
I haven't seen anything like it. I as far as I've seen it in Kubernetes, is that objects get stored as you put them, or that you don't send anything that doesn't get stored, which would be a flag.
Here's what I suggest. I'll add your name, and
making my problem.
No, I suggest you write a cap.
Yep.
And you can mention that it could be an annotation or it could be a field. I suspect maybe an annotation would be fine, because I think it's kind of weird if it's like an actual field that is defined on the server but is never set on the server. I think it should be dropped by kubectl.
What if someone puts that field? What if someone uses update? And
yeah, right. That's
field?
weird.
It's weird.
So I think it should be an annotation and it should be dropped.
What we could do is make it part of the field manager managed fields themselves as some kind of, you add a new manager, which is yourself, and that then gets updated and your managed fields get added to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but do we want people to actually create the managed field?
Okay, they would create it.
In general, we don't want people to touch that, I think.
Yeah.
I'm moving the completed task at the end, because now that we have like a gazillion, it's kind of a, I think it's better like this. Yeah, right. And yet I see value in having the field in the object.
You could also have that behavior by kubectl looking at the object, finding that field, removing it,
yeah,
setting the query.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And so just
that
like, I'm working like on a bunch of features where we're doing this more and more, as in kubectl uses some annotation to change its behavior. So I think it makes sense. Like we're considering doing pruning by doing that, and some other ideas.
So if someone sets the name of the annotation wrong though, by one character, then is it going to apply and set the annotation on the?
Yes.
But we should exclude from the managed fields, right?
I mean, it won't. I mean, I was thinking it wouldn't even send that annotation. It would just send the query number.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you're right. Like if there is a typo in the annotation key, it's gonna send the annotation.
Well, it might fail and say that you didn't specify the query.
No, because I'm still assuming it's gonna use the default or maybe what you specify on the command line. If you specify on the command line. By the way, if you and that's something you should be clear about in the Kevin, is that since you can specify the manager on the command line, and if we start allowing the manager to be in the file at the same time, what we do for namespace, for example, is that if you have the namespace in the object and you do kubectl-n something, it's going to fail, saying you have a conflict. So you should probably do the same. Like if the object has like manager John and you do kubectl-apply -- what's the name, manager equal Jane, it should tell you like you have a conflict. The file says it should be John and you specify Jane, doesn't work.
Okay.
If the two are similar, then I think it should be okay.
I haven't done a cap before, so should I start it in a doc and we discuss it before we post it somewhere?
No, it's fine if you start with the cap. There are many. I can send you examples. You don't. It doesn't necessarily take a lot of time. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm personally working on the union right now, so I'll move that first. Wait, what?
Maybe you typed just one. I don't know.
Or did I type one of? Oh, one of. There you go. Okay, I'm working on these. I'm gonna assign. I'm gonna sort of assign by.
Just for me to know, what is it with those OpenAPI version 3 things? What is happening there? What is the problem?
CRDs are in OpenAPI v3. Cortex are in OpenAPI v2.
Okay.
We use a very small set of the OpenAPI v2 for Cortex. OpenAPI validation field can have a lot of things that we don't know how to create our schema from it. We have a meeting tomorrow with Stefan from Red Hat to discuss about the validation field in the CRD, so that we can restrict what is possible so that it can work with server-side apply.
Is this something where I should join in, or could, or is it?
Yeah, you can join us if you want.
Okay.
I can change the invite.
Sure.
You can take this as a note somewhere, Jenny.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so wait, what else? Define OpenAPI future strategy. That's the one Jenny's working on. All of these are going to take a lot of time, I suspect. I mean, I'd be happy. I'd like to take the time someday to group these into sub-issues, maybe.
Did we make an entry for the default values for keys in here? I don't see it.
What's the default values for keys?
The protocol on the container.
Oh, I think we have.
Being necessary.
So we have a backward incompatible change. If you apply an object and the container port has a port but no protocol, it's going to start failing with the new apply. Because the protocol is part of the key now and the key is mandatory. But yet we say the API says that the protocol is optional. So it's kind of weird that apply says it's required, though the API says it's optional. So we need to figure out a way to do that. And that's, I've done a cap for that. I'm gonna move that up because
You can also add, I guess it's MISC to update the documentation as Daniel added some comments. I'll probably do it this week, but as we're merged into the release branch now, I think it's not that.
Okay, yeah, it should be quick and easy. I don't know where to add that. Can you keep track of it? I'll
Yeah,
try
okay,
to
then
remember.
yeah, it's in my mail. So,
Good. Default, it must be default. Okay, I can't see it. I'll add the task. Okay. Can we do it before? Can we do it for next release? Do you guys think we're gonna make it?
I can't estimate how much the OpenAPI stuff costs you.
Yeah, that's the main risk, I think. Use the schema.
Because some stuff like EGCT storage limits are something to test.
Yeah, we don't know if we want to do that.
Yeah, we might remove some of these.
A lot of these are like good to have, but not necessarily critical, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We could mark them so that we.
Yeah, we can rearrange them.
That's required. That I don't know. That's to be discussed.
Yeah.
That's optional. That's required. This we need to at least think about it. Make sure built-in API type use the new type correctly. That's good. That I think is optional, and it goes with. It goes with these. I'll move these up since it's not optional. We don't have that much, I think. If we stay focused, we can do it.
How long is it?
2 months, 2.5 months, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that should. It's less than we did before.
The like, let's say one-off. Okay, CRDs I think are like absolutely we need CRDs to go better. One-off is like it's good to have. It's very good to have, but it's not completely required, I suspect. It's sort of orthogonal enough that.
Well, if we wanted to fix that, we should fix it now, really. This is like the only chance we'll have, right?
Why?
Because it'll be backward compatible.
No, it has to be backwards compatible anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe, I mean, for update it does, but not necessarily.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Cool, I think we're good. We have like lots of stuff to do, and we know what to do.
Have you done anything on the monitoring part you mentioned a while ago?
Yeah, we have monitoring just for the number of requests and the latency of the requests.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen the PR, I guess. Okay.
Yeah,
there it is.
And count. Latency is going to be interesting. And so we saved the apply verb specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a verb, but we created a new verb, at least in the monitoring part, for apply. And we have one for dry run too, so that's good.
Okay, yeah, so PR. Okay, yeah.
Cool. I think we're going to call it the day. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Fede, for joining. See you in 2 weeks.
Yep, bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.